Today's topic is all about how to be emotionally independent to help us handle any kind of situations in our life that is negative to us. So let us begin this video. Om Shanti, my name is Garret. Before I start the topic off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe and comment your learnings in the comment section below. I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. It's also nice to know where you guys are tuning from so we could actually connect within this space, okay? So let us head into the topic on emotional independence, okay? So, when I want something, right, to be better than what it is today, right? And when I want my mind to actually feel better than what it is today, when I want my body to feel better than what it is today, when I want my relationships to feel better than what it is today, when I even want my world to be better than what it is today, have a think about it. Who should I actually go to? Okay? The answer would usually be myself. If you gain a true understanding of how things work in the world, you will know that it is myself. Okay? Do we have the capacity to actually change the world? Okay? Have a think about it. Can we change how our body is feeling? Can we change how our relationship is today? And how can we change how the mind is feeling today? If I have to go to only myself, then why do I every day keep going out to other people and trying to gain understanding or happiness from somebody else? You see, the more I keep going to other people, the more I am not actually reaching the solution that I want. And the more I am not reaching this solution that I want, the more it is getting complicated and complex in my life. That's why a lot of people keep saying, why is my life so complicated? Everything in relationships, is complicated here and there. Life is not complicated. Life is simple. We think of it as complicated, therefore we think our life is complex. Okay? The more it is getting complex, the more my problems are increasing. The more my problems are increasing, the more I am going to other people. And this seems to be not going anywhere. And I'm not going to the one who can actually help to heal the problem. Why? Because it seems like people want validation from people who could give them support. Therefore, when they go for the people that tend to give them the better advice, it's something that they don't want to listen to. Okay? Because I'm not even sure whether or not I can do it or not. I can change the problem or not. Therefore, they go to other people. Okay? Do we know that what's the effect of our every thought? Okay, that is the most important question that we need to ask ourselves. When we enter a space, right? Take for instance, we enter a space and we say, "Oh, such a beautiful space." Just this simple thought alone, do you know where all these thoughts actually reach? Have a think about it. It would most definitely reach the surroundings, right? Because we generate a thought. Thoughts move in vibrations and vibrations emits through the external surrounding environments. Okay? However, our every thought not yet going out yet, okay? We first created, first it's not going out yet, okay? Where's the first place it will sort of influence? Have a think. How I feel if I created a beautiful thought of this space that I've just talked about, okay? I feel nice, right? Because it's such a nice place to be in. It's such a lovely space. I would feel nice, okay? That's the first place it will influence. If I enter that space and I say, what a strange place. This space looks strange. My feeling would change instantly, okay? So, how I feel would depend on my very first thought. that will be the first place where it will sort of influence. Okay, every time we say I'm not feeling very nice today, or I'm feeling a little low today, I'm upset. Okay, all I need to do is actually check what I have been thinking throughout the day. Without that check, right, I cannot change my feeling unless I change what I was thinking in the first place, because my thoughts creates my feeling. Okay, so my every thought, right, first it would affect the self first, right, and secondly it would start to affect the thoughts that I create, and which will ultimately radiate to my body. Okay, so let's say you are watching a movie and somebody's phone started to ring in the cinemas. Okay, so do we have any options to think, okay, positively? Have a think about it. Okay, I can give you some several options of what I can think of. Okay, first we can say that person is forgetful and he has forgot to turn off his phone. That's something positive, right? Simple and easy. Okay, number two, we can say that they might not know how to put their phones on silent. So that is something positive as well. Certain people that are like the elderly, sometimes they don't know how to use the features or the functions of their phone. They could have purchased the phone new, so they haven't figured out the functions about it. So that's something positive, right? You think high frequency, high vibrations, you think positively of people. Okay, second option. Okay, third option, the most important, I don't want to put my phone on silent, and I don't care. Okay, and actually I don't bother. Okay, even if you request it, you request me to put it on silent, I don't bother about it. I simply don't care. I will do whatever I want in my life. Okay, because finally the other person has a choice whether or not they want to accept your advice or not. Okay, that is the third and most important point, because everyone lives their own life, right? They choose to do whatever action they want. Okay, so simply I don't want to turn off my phone into silent. Okay, but many are actually unaware, right, that when this phone actually rings, we also have the option to think. Okay, like they had options, we also had options. So what are the options that we have? Okay, you can basically ignore. Okay, if you say you ignore, right, that is not the answer, because when we hear the ringing going on, right, we will create thoughts. Then when we practice and we reach a stage where we actually not create any thoughts, right, that's the ultimate stage that we ultimately want to achieve. Okay, but until then, when that time comes, it is not the way. We cannot ignore the phone. We have to accept the phone rings. Okay, so what are the options? Okay, what are the kind of thoughts that I can create when someone does something which I had asked them not to do? Okay, number one, we can get irritated and stare at them and say, and look at them and tell them, hey, come on, silence your phone, right? But when we do that, most of the time we send a strong thought from inside, which I create a kind of irritation within me. Okay, which I get irritated first beforehand. Secondly, where will that thought go? It's going to go into my body, right? So that's the second step. So any illnesses, right, after many years of these incidences that happen, nothing has happened, right, for many years. Okay, through all these circumstances that we face, nothing has happened in our health, right? It is all these ringings of phones that has rung for about 20 years in your life. Every time this phone rings, obviously I will get irritated. So I kept creating irritation and I kept radiating that to my body. That is how illnesses are being manifested in towards the physical body. So every time we feel irritated by any kind of circumstances, whether it's a phone, then it starts to radiate into our body, and that manifests ultimately after some span of our life. Okay, and I thought my irritation was normal because they forgot to put the phone on silent. So it's somebody's fault? that we should feel irritated because just because he did not turn off the phone, we should feel irritated. Think about it. They might not switch off the phone for the next 20 years. We need to come to a realization. Okay, but my body will start manifesting things if we keep harboring this irritation in us. Okay, so every time you want to get irritated because of what somebody else has done, please remember, number one, so we can get irritated, right? Okay, number two, we can actually choose to be compassionate, saying that, oh, they forgot to put their phones off. It's very simple, right? We will not stop loving them at that. Okay, number three, we have accepted that phones actually ring. So when it rings, we don't create any single thought about it. Okay, so there are a lot of things, right, which happens around us for which we don't create any thoughts and we don't seem to realize it. Okay, why? Because we have already accepted that these things actually happen. Okay, I have heard of a person trying to describe his meditation experience to me on the phone. Okay, it's quite interesting. He said that he was very angry after he just got up from meditation, and I asked him why would somebody get angry when they just finished their meditation, right? So how can you get angry? I told him, how can you get angry after finishing your meditation? So he said, my wife always talks on the phone when I meditate. Okay, so she has to understand that I need silence, but she always obviously find that 15 minutes to talk to her sister on the phone. Okay, so somehow picking on him doing meditation, he thinks that way. Okay, I said, but you were meditating, right? Why would you get angry? It's no point then, right? Because meditation is all about calming the mind, calming the body, and coming to a state of peace and bliss, right? But by being angry, you're doing the completely opposite of what meditation should be. Okay, he said, no, but why does she have to talk on the phone in this 15 minutes only that I'm doing meditation? Why can't she stop using the phone? Okay, and while he was saying that, right, there were cars on the streets that going really loudly. They were pressing the horn, so on and so forth, with their loud engines going on. So I said, the cars were making a lot of noise. Okay, he said, what? Who? I said, yeah. I said, the cars are making a lot of noise. He said, so are these persons not supposed to drive on the cars on? They're not supposed to drive their cars on the road? He asked me back this question. I said, yeah, but does that not actually disturb you in your meditation? He said, no, not at all, because it's normal that cars should be driving on the streets. That's why he has accepted that these cars with their loud noises are a normal thing in his life. And his wife speaking on the phone is not a normal thing because he hasn't come to an acceptance yet. So the noise of these cars, right, is louder than the voice of the wife, apparently. But the sounds provided by the cars did not irritate me because I accept that this will be the thing that is normal, okay, for the cars to be driving on the roads. But I expect my wife will not talk on the phone, and it is the volume of the cars, or the voice of the wife that actually disturbs. It's my thought, okay, my thought of acceptance or expectations which will create this form of disturbance. We need to know that. So whenever you get disturbed, right, if you just shift from the column of expectations to acceptance, right, your mind will not cry after that. That's one of the simplest method, okay? Because often in life, we expect somebody else to do something that follows along with what we think should be the right way. However, if we do that, that is expectations. Expectations often lead to disappointment, okay? Shift to acceptance instead. The actual ringing tone of the phone, right, does not trouble us. It is the thought of expecting the phone to be silent that gives us a lot of trouble. Okay, let's always be clear that outside stimulus cannot disturb our state of mind. The phone only, I can hear it to hear. We must remember, we can only hear the sound to hear. Okay, it is my thoughts that's internal. After listening to that phone, that disturbs my state of mind. And if my mind does not create that thought, right, after listening to that phone, I will not actually get disturbed. Okay? So instead of staring at that person and saying that, hey, turn off your phone or shut it on silent, I can just look at myself and say, stop thinking about that. Okay? So that's the simplest way. We can't change people, we can't control people. And the simplest way is by controlling ourselves, changing the way we think. That's the simplest way out. Because though when we try, right, to actually control people, that becomes a deep clash of ego between two persons. So if we try to control people saying, you do what I want you to do, okay, so that I can be at peace, it will not work. Okay, it doesn't even sound nice to begin with this sentence, right? So they'll say, you do what, I'll do what is right for me. You do what you want, I'll do what I want. Okay, so it's easier to just start teaching our minds how to think when people are not doing what you want them to do. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this video, and by practicing this method of coming to acceptance, we will become emotionally independent and not subjected to any kind of external means that will make us upset. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this video. If you do, please make sure you comment your learnings in the comment section. I'm ending this video off right now. Om Shanti.